Hello, my name is Evelyn Hoover, and I'm in the 8th grade. I attend Royal Spring Middle School in Georgetown, Kentucky. I'm here to talk to you today about the issue of air pollution. Now, you may be wondering, why is a kid my age worried or interested in this issue? Well, besides the fact that it's very serious, I learned this topic from participating in an assembly called the Kentucky United Nations Assembly, run by the YMCA, in March of 2021. It was an all-virtual experience due to the pandemic, but we still did an abundance of research before going. I was involved in a resolution, which is, simply put, a debate to the United Nations saying why this issue that you have chosen affects both your country and the world, and why the United Nations should help you solve it. When I was researching, we talked about the problems that affect both our country and the rest of the world. And we went and did air pollution. We chose this topic because we learned about it in some of our social studies classes, although not in the immense detail that we had learned about it when we researched when going to CUNA. I was truly shocked when I found the severity of this issue and how much it impacts a large portion of our population every day. Going further into my research, I found shocking statistics on the amount of people that are exposed to an unhealthy amount of carbon due to air pollution all around the globe. Today, I'd like to share some of these facts with you to give you a better understanding of this issue that faces our Earth and how we as everyday citizens can help fix it. To begin, you may not realize it, but air pollution has been occurring since the 1830s. This began due to the Industrial Revolution, and while pollution was around before the Industrial Revolution began, this is really when it was recorded for the first time. Sadly, in today's time, it's gotten far worse than we could have ever anticipated. The CDC has recorded 68 million tons of air pollutants that were emitted in the U.S. in 2020 alone. To try and limit gases we push into the atmosphere, the EPA set the Clean Air Pact forward, which limits the amount of pollutants that companies can pollute into the air each year. Now, although the intention of this act was to help, 135 million people still suffer today from air pollution in the U.S., which doesn't even include the countries around the globe. Just in the U.S. alone is the 135 million people that have been recorded. Pollutants such as carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen oxides, ground-level ozones, particle pollution, and sulfur oxides are still being emitted into the atmosphere without a care. Continuing on, you may be wondering, why should I care? This doesn't affect me. And while you're under that presumption, autoimmune diseases bask in the fog of car pollution. You may be wondering, what are autoimmune diseases? Well, according to Science Direct journals, it is defined as a broad spectrum of disorders featured by the body's immune responses being directed against its own tissues, resulting in prolonged inflammation and subsequent damage. In summary, it's immune system working against you instead of helping you like it's supposed to. Air pollution has been recorded of enacting autoimmune diseases, which has affected nearly 5% of the world population, which is roughly 390 million people. With air pollution rising at the rate it is now, that number is only going to go up, meaning that you or a loved one or someone you care about has a higher chance of getting an autoimmune disease. In addition, the World Resources Institute states that about 7 million deaths that occur in a year are linked to air pollution. And knowing that should motivate you to join me in practices that can help our fellow human being. Now, this may seem hopeless, but here are a few practices that you as a normal person can do each and every day to lower these numbers. 1, you can ride a bike or walk instead of driving or taking the bus to lower the pollutants that are put into the air by transportation. 2, you can turn off lights and other appliances when not in use, which lowers your electricity bill and lowers the amount of fossil fuels that your house is emitting into the air due to your electricity. 3, you can use energy-efficient light bulbs and other appliances, which also lowers your electricity and the amount of fossil fuels that are used because of it. And 4, try to buy as few things as possible from companies who manufacture solely on fossil fuels and pollutants. To conclude, through all we have discussed today, from the statistics to the effects, it's clear to see harshly air pollution is affecting our world. With all that is out of our control, in this day and time, it's good to think on how we can help with some of the larger aspected things that seem out of our control as well. Now, I only have one question left for you. How can you help our world be a cleaner place?